Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the social, economic, and religious situation in Russia. We know the background and the problems faced by the people should be known. Then only we can understand how and why the revolution took place. You know, in Russia, the real revolution took place in 1917, in the month of October. That is a period of First World War in Europe. The Central Powers led by Germany, supported by Austria and Turkey, fought against the Allied powers, including Russia. Other powers were France, England, Italy, Romania, and later joined by USA. So the First World War started by fight between Russia and Austria. The people of Russia were not happy to have a fight with Germany. We know each citizen or each person has got his desire or his necessities. The workers of Germany or other European countries had prominent share in industrial activities. But when we come to Russia, 85% of the Russian population depended on agriculture. At that same time, in other European countries, it is around 40%. And in Russia, those 85% population produced the materials for themselves and some for selling also. And Russian society was a natural socialist society. That means the land or the agricultural area was put together by the community and it was given to each family according to their abilities and necessity to cultivate. That is important, you must understand. So agricultural land was not a private property of any individual. Do you understand the difference? Now we know, we All you villagers will be knowing, each person will have his own agricultural land. He does agricultural activities in his land. That year by year it continues. But in Russia it was not like that. One year you do agriculture, take the resources, the land is not yours after that. Next year again the land is put together and is divided by the community together. So that was set up in Russia. The people who were very good craftsmen joined together and produced some industrial goods. Factories were started. So the craftsmen means persons who are able and talented to make the materials. Carpenter, blacksmith, goldsmith, potter, all this group of persons are called craftsmen. They produced the materials and they sold in the market. Most of the agricultural land in the villages were controlled by the nobles and the church. The nobility got their power from their service to the king. So the villages had to cultivate in their own land and do free service to the nobles. Sometimes there would be frictions between the nobles and the peasants. No, peasants means, you may have a confusion. I have taught in the normal class, still I tell you. Peasants and farmers, there are difference between them. Peasant is an agricultural laborer, really speaking. He is not having his own land. He takes the land from some other person, pays the rent for the land and produces the material. So some of the peasants who have taken the land from the nobles were not ready to pay the rent to the landowner or the noble. So there will be friction. So many murders have taken place between 1902 to 1905. In Russia, political parties were not permitted. By the Russian government. So in 1898, a socialist political party came into existence in Russia. And it was working as an underground organization or as an illegal organization because the government did not permit it. This organization published newspapers, supported the working class people. So naturally the organization of political political parties supported the workers, and naturally protests were there by the workers because they know that joint bargaining will have more strength than single bargaining. So once the some employees, 4 employees were dismissed by a company in St. Petersburg. People came out into protest. 1,10,000 workers came supporting the dismissed employees. They stopped the work. In 1905, under leadership of Father Gapon, some people in Russia went to the winter palace of Emperor Nicholas, Sir Nicholas, asking for bread. People are not having anything to eat, but instead of providing any assistance or any help to the people, king did not respond to the demands of the people, but there was a firing from the palace. Around 100 workers died in the month of February 1905, and it was on a Sunday, and that Sunday is known as a Bloody Sunday because people have shed their blood for bread. So that Sunday is known as a Bloody Sunday. So because of these responses, people were very much unhappy, and there was a demand for creation of a parliament, and king agreed to form a parliament, and in the parliament elections were taking place, and name of Russian parliament is known as Duma. The king was not happy with the parliament because the parliament members questioned his authority, challenged him, told him that king is not doing the things as expected of him. So he dismissed the parliament within 75 days of its formation. Again election took place. And in that parliament, he demanded only those politicians who supported government, that means conservative politicians, he wanted them to be in the parliament. And during this time, the war also was going on. Russian soldiers were running away. They had no means to fight against Germany and Austria. 1 million soldiers died. Many had other problems. So when the Russian soldiers were running, they destroyed the agricultural products of those areas because they don't want Germany to use those agricultural products and survive in those areas and fight against Russia. When they have destroyed agricultural products, the farmers who were producing those things, they lost their livelihood. So the famine occurred. Problems were so serious. And in Germany in 1940, a new political party under leadership of Vladimir Lenin came up. Revolutionary, Socialist Revolutionary Party of Russia. And in that two groups were Bolsheviks and Mensheviks. Minority group. Less number of people were called Bolsheviks and Mensheviks were more in number. Because Bolsheviks wanted a revolutionary change in Russia. Mensheviks were not supporting the revolutionary change in Russia. But in 1917, there was a movement and Bolsheviks took over the administration of Russia. Lenin was not there in Russia during the revolution. He was in Switzerland. People came out in the streets, took over the administration. Palace was surrounded. King was taken out and executed. His family members, entire family were executed, and new style of government came up in Russia under the leadership of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin in 1917. Russia withdrew from the war, stating that it is not interested in any conflict with any country. So an agreement was signed between Russia and Germany. Still the war was going on. Other countries were fighting each other. Still Russia withdrew from the war. A new revolutionary government came into existence in Russia in the month of October 1917. Sir Nicholas, I already told you, family were executed. A socialistic pattern of government under leadership of Lenin, they thought and implemented, because in the villages they were doing it naturally, because property, socialist pattern means everything is shared equally from every individual according to his abilities and to every individual according to his needs. These are the policies of Russia, or a socialistic pattern of society. Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. Okay, thank you for today.